If you're listening right now, watching right now, don't be the young old head.
Don't be the young old head, because that was about to be me at like 23, 24. That's a young old head. Hell no.
They haven't gone away, by the way. They're like
No,
you go on
they're
Twitter
everywhere.
yeah.
But these young old heads, bro, y'all still got the rest of y'all 20s to figure that shit out, bro. Like, for real, they really have the rest of the 20s to figure this shit out.
Yeah,
like,
save your hating for when you turn 30, in my opinion. And
for
then, like,
real, 35,
35
even. You know what I'm saying? Shit.
No bells. Mano racing. I'm here in Maryland with one of the innovators of the underground rap scene as we know it right now, in my opinion. The founder of Anti-World, the collective, and one of the founders of the genre known by many as trap metal, Sybyr. What's good?
How's it going, man?
Thank you for inviting us into your space. This is your friend's studio. Correct?
Yes, this is Owen's studio right here. Shout out to Owen for having us.
Your song "The Mill" is like such a Halloween song to me. It's like
True.
I don't know why. I think I just picture the Scooby-Doo character just like dancing to it. It's like a very high energy synth pop song. Like
yeah,
you're really in your bag on that song.
Very in my bag. That's why I was trying to get out of trap metal, because I feel like that kind of closed me in, type shit. And I'm gonna come out with another genre. I hear that 1 or 2 things take off, but not like 10 things. So I gotta be very poignant with my next one that I do launch and stuff. You know.
Yeah. You were talking about how trap metal maybe is something you want to move past. Is that a genre that has been boxing you in at all?
I would say maybe not box me in, but I could definitely see how other people are boxed in that themselves. So I'ma just let trap metal do its thing, and then just have them figure it out from there. Cause I already know that, like, I got inspired by multiple genres and shit. I think the thing for me is just to keep innovating, honestly. Cause if I die on trap metal, that's not going to be something I'll be very proud of.
Yeah.
So this other thing that I'm working on will definitely be that. I'm not saying no names on the type of genre right now. Just keeping it tucked, because I know how the internet can get. I know how other niggas can get.
I think one of the most annoying things with the genre is it's genre is so important, because people don't realize genre is actually important. You can't just be like, I'm no genre, because that means you're probably just lying. You're probably just capping. Like, everybody has influences.
They capping at some heavy degree.
Exactly. No, and like, I think out of any artist, I think about how you're one of the first artists I listened to, from the SoundCloud space especially, who talked about the internet actively in songs. You were talking about like being terminally online before like these hyperpop kids were doing it. You know what I mean?
Right,
and like that's such an important thing to me, because that's really how so much of, I guess I'm like basically Gen Z. I think I'm 26. Gen Z interacts with music is through the internet, and everybody's just like putting a version of themselves online. So I'm wondering, like, how did you first engage with the internet as far as being a musician, and how has it affected your career, both good and bad?
Being online has definitely had me suffer in other ways, type shit.
Yeah.
And then being online has got me some good, interesting relationships. And then I had to remember the relationships that I kind of started offline and shit. Those kind of went further than the ones that were kind of online, based off proximity and stuff like that.
Who are those people?
I would say Owen was one of them, because I don't think I was on Instagram meeting them. Another friend of mine in D.C., I met him at Wi-Fi's old joint, Wi-Fi God.
Yeah,
Wi-Fi God's old joint. And then we still talk to this day and everything. You said another part of that question was like, how did the
internet like shape your own, I guess, relationships with music and stuff, and developing an audience?
For me, I would say like what helped me was like, not necessarily help, but what I got interested in outside of what my parents were playing was like trap music, like just the regular trap hip hop genre in general. And
like which artists?
I would say Juicy J and Lex Luger. Their projects were definitely crazy.
You mean like the mixtape, like kind of later Juicy J?
The later Juicy,
yeah. What's that tape called again?
Rubber Band Business.
Yeah, and the one with the blue. There's another one from that era that's crazy.
Blue Dream.
I think so.
Blue Dream.
Yeah. Blue Dream and Lean.
Blue Dream and Lean.
That tape was hard.
That shit was crazy.
Yeah.
I feel like Lex Luger definitely put me on to Juicy J.
Yeah.
And then I didn't dive deep into his older stuff, but I just vibe into Stop on My Knob, all that type of stuff.
For sure.
And yeah, like other friends of mine were really deep into the rest of the old Memphis scene. Definitely fuck with Coops the nigga after they put me onto that.
Were you basing your first like flows and shit like that off of Memphis artists or?
I wouldn't say the Memphis artists. I would say like the Gucci Manes, the Waka Flocka Flames, the Shawty Reds.
And then like when did you, I guess, first realize you were innovating a new genre?
I would say HELLHORSE because Anti-War was kind of like the introduction to that.
Yeah.
And then as I was getting into HELLHORSE, it was just like, that was when I was just pure expression. It wasn't like I'm gonna make music for this. It was just purely expression and like a rant.
Yeah.
And then that's when I was like, oh shit, this is taking a different form and stuff.
HELLHORSE just got a vinyl release this year, right?
No, yeah,
Or
I think it was last year.
Last year, yeah.
Yeah.
Through Dismiss Yourself, I think.
Do Dismiss Yourself, yep.
Yeah, shout out them.
Mhm.
I was gonna ask about that project because that's like such a like. I mean, classic's such a personal term, but I feel like it's a subjective term. But I feel like for a lot of fans of the underground, that's a classic album, and like, it's crazy it got a vinyl release and everything.
Yeah.
To me, when I hear that album, I'm like, it's the perfect representation of like the color, like red, before a whole lot of red, before all these like before red became like a cool color. You know what I mean? Like it's like the original Red album to me.
It was always a cool color. It was just
Yeah.
like what albums kind of made that red pop type shit.
Yeah. It's just such like an infernal album to me, and I'm just curious, man, where were you at mentally, your headspace when you were making that shit? Because I feel like you're pretty fucked up. Not to.
I swear, I get the most like, oh, this nigga was on drugs when he made that shit. I was sober pretty much.
Oh, I don't even mean like drugs wise. I meant just like mentally. But
mentally,
yeah.
I was in the gutter.
Yeah.
Mentally, I was in the gutter. I got a song on there called Yikes. Vile song.
Yeah.
Vile ass song.
A lot of vile.
But it kind of slipped through the cracks.
Yeah.
I think Fuck You Purely, and then the War, whatever shit was on there, Shoot the Party. They kind of took the highlights and all that shit. I'm glad Yikes wasn't like a cult classic.
Yeah.
Shit.
But I mean, I think at the same time, like, people, like you see people like new Tyler the Creator fans being like returning and discovering his old shit and being like, oh, I can't believe he was saying all these things. But if you're really there for it, you understand that context is key, and like you were just in the gutter, like that's the context, and like that's art's meant to just represent the emotions we don't have words for. I feel.
Yeah.
And, like that's what the album sounds like to me. It's like yeah, just like pure rage and just anxiety and shit.
Yeah, because at the time it was just like a make or break moment for me. That was also kind of what tied into it, because HELLHORSE was definitely a make or break type of project. It was like, damn, I gotta go somewhere with this, or else I'm gonna just be in Maryland, just staying in Maryland, not being able to visit other states and shit.
Yeah.
You know, all that type of stuff.
Where were you recording it?
I was recording it at my parents' apartment type shit.
People, it's cool to me that kids are discovering the album for the first time still to this day and being like, oh shit, like, I don't know if you're aware of that happening, but that's happening.
I'm not aware of that phase of it. I thought all the ones that kind of heard it kind of grew up and shit.
Yeah.
And then was on that type of time where they were just like, oh yeah, I love this. I just hope there's more of this soon.
Yeah.
And then I feel like the kids that grew up with it kind of was like, oh, I hope there's something other like this soon. But now I didn't know that there were actually kids like younger than them that's coming into it. Type shit, which is interesting.
It's crazy. I mean, I think getting into another one of your projects, the artist, I don't know if you're familiar with Quinn, but we've interviewed her on this platform before. She's a really good artist from that new age kind of hyperpop digicore scene. I guess she disavows that term now. Kind of like how you disavow trap metal.
Yeah.
Same shit.
Like,
everything moves in cycles.
For me, I would own the shit out of hyperpop.
Yeah.
But now that it has its own like term, like I feel like once it gets coinage, shit changes.
Yeah, exactly.
And then she probably doesn't like that coinage type shit.
Exactly.
Because she's thinking, oh, this is something else for me.
Yeah.
Type shit. But it just happened to fall in line with the sonics that they were using and all these different factors that kind of drive that sound.
Yeah, exactly. Totally. And I think the thing about Quinn, which is crazy to me, is that I once just posted 101 Dalmatians off Netgear on like our Twitter account. Just I was like, this is a crazy song. I hope you guys should all listen to it. And then she replied to it being like, this was the song that made me start using autotune in songs. And like,
Damn.
she's the first person from that scene who's been like, Sybyr and all of them like were the ones who inspired me. Like, I don't know if you know Funeral. Funeral's another artist who's always talking about your influence.
Does his Instagram start with 2 X's?
Yeah.
Got you. Okay, that's
Yeah,
good.
shout out
Got you.
Funeral.
I just didn't want to
Yeah,
leave
yeah.
anybody out or anything like that.
Exactly. You know, I feel you. And but I mean, how does that make you feel? Because that's just like these are like little teenagers, more or less, that are like citing you as an influence to this day.
It's definitely interesting, man. Like, and then I kind of fear that with the stuff that I'm cooking up with another genre, that it might not translate as well. Because I feel like with trap metal, that shit was just like a certain sonic, and you had to rage and shit. And it had to be sad. And it had to be angry. But it's like, you can make happiness sound like some crazy ass shit. And that's what I'm realizing and stuff. Because I just feel like the title may not fit the whole, or that you have to keep playing into that character and shit.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I remember there's this interview Future does where he's talking about like how he doesn't want to. I mean, he still talks about it, but he's like, I don't want to keep talking about like, you know, Percocet, Molly Percocet, and shit like this is not who I am. You know, I want to. I don't do this shit every day anymore.
Yeah.
But he still feels pressured to do that shit just because it's what sells records, and I'm sure it's trap metal. It's the same shit. Yeah.
Honestly,
Like
it
a
really,
persona.
it's like a persona. I'm not even that angry all the time. Like, I try not to be angry all the time.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how to deal with stress the most healthy way, but I'm learning.
Yeah.
You know, I have a journal and stuff, and if I don't journal, I rant in one of my notebooks.
Yeah.
You know, and all that type of shit. Like, me embodying the fuck out of trap metal, I see myself like, where's the women at? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's kind of where I'm at, because it's like, if my energy is throwing them off to the point where I
Yeah.
just step in and
Yeah.
they're like, that something's wrong. To
Right.
me, at least.
Nothing has changed in the underground. I'm just gonna say that these parties, every party smells crazy.
Oh my God.
Nothing has changed in these concerts. I guess what steps have you taken as far as changing as a person? Because to get out of that dark place, you know, you have to. It doesn't just happen, you know. So.
Meditation, I would say meditation is something that I struggle with, type shit,
Yeah.
because I don't really do it the arms, like the legs crossed way. Like, I just stand up, take some deep breaths and shit, or I would take day naps. I just view some of those things as like a way to meditate, honestly,
Yeah.
because as long as I'm trying to be present, isn't that what the whole goal is? To be present-minded and shit?
Yeah. Mindfulness.
Yeah, mindfulness.
Yeah.
Then I feel like I'm doing my job, you know, like
Exactly.
the naps and especially the journaling,
Yeah.
because I definitely journal a lot.
How did your time in the ward affect you? Because I know you released like one of your albums on the day you got out, like 3 years ago or so. I forget which one that was.
That was Charleyhorse.
Charleyhorse, right?
Charleyhorse.
You
Yeah.
dropped so much music, man. It's like it's
Yeah.
hard to keep up.
Yeah,
But,
lots of lessons to
yeah,
be learning,
yeah.
lots of little shit niggas picked up on.
Yeah, exactly. I guess what was that time like? Was that really dark for you? Was that healing? What was going on?
Honestly, I think I scheduled it to release before I even was called in. And then I was in there acting crazy. I had some shit on me. I'm not going to say what type of shit it was, but I had some shit on me. And as soon as the guy saw it, like, because the security guard was cool, but my mom was kind of like, oh, shit, he brought that shit. And then, like, then they had to hold me in some other place. And then that's when they gave me, like, a shot in my leg.
Oh.
And all I remember is waking up, and I'm on the ambulance towards the ward
Yeah.
type shit. And this was all in that January spat.
Were you the type of person who's actively trying to fight it the whole time, or you just kind of like, nah, I just got to do this, get it over with, come back out?
I was trying to fight it.
Yeah.
I was trying to fight not going in.
Yeah.
I was definitely trying to fight not going in. And that shit was like, on the outside, they were like, nah, he need to go in. But
Yeah.
in my head, I'm like, I'm trying to not get another bill. I don't even think about the treatment. I think about the bill that I'm gonna get in the
Exactly.
mail
No, that's just
weeks later.
bruh. It's crazy.
And after
Yeah.
after the fourth time, which was that January,
Yeah.
I was like, fuck, I can't do this no more.
The
I
fourth
cannot
time you
do-
were in the war?
Fourth time in the war was in Maryland.
Okay.
And then the fifth time was in Maryland too.
4 times over the span of how many? Like several years or something, or? Just
Fourth time over the span of years.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So once you got out, was that like that fourth time, was that like a breakthrough moment where you're like, I just gotta like change something about change something, or because there's some things that you just can't change also, which
Right, yeah.
like, so how do you, I guess, what did you learn from that?
I learned that I needed a system to keep me like kind of medicated on their regimen and shit,
Yeah.
and stay on that bitch, and also like find time to create. So or create in the chaos.
Yeah.
So that way I'm not like not doing anything and being manic with idle hands and shit.
Yeah.
You know, with idle time.
Besides like creating a system, how does music, I guess, help you heal?
It's kind of hard to say it heals now because it's kind of like a job, but I just do other things to heal. Honestly, like the shit that I'm going through, I kind of use that in the music. Honestly, nowadays, and that kind of, I guess, kind of makes it feel like a job type shit.
Yeah.
You know, but not in a job and a negative connotation,
sense,
but
yeah,
like more like a realization,
Yeah.
a real tone, not a realistic tone. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's like, oh god, this is so nerdy, but like I feel like, Marx and Hegel, people like that. I was a philosophy major, but like those philosophers were always talking about how like you have to see yourself in the work you do, and that's when you know it's like real, like capital W work is like you see yourself in the object of your work, of your labor. So I don't know exactly. Like work doesn't have to be like a negative connotation thing necessarily. I guess in
Not at all.
capitalism it usually is, but
And capitalism definitely is.
yeah.
And then I take the time to learn about that shit too, cause
Yeah.
like how dare I be an artist and not know what the fuck going on in the world in that front? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? In a capitalistic sense, cause it's like this what this country runs off of.
Yeah.
If we all hated this shit, we go to Russia, we go to China, we go to fucking Saudi Arabia, we go to fucking those places and be
Yeah.
like, yeah, we trying to live like y'all.
Yeah, for sure.
But you know, shit, we trying to enjoy ourselves here. So this is what we got to do. So it's like, let's learn about it, man.
Exactly.
Shit.
Yeah. Did you ever like? I mean, your sound was so. It still is fresh, but like I remember when it first came out, like it got a lot of like coverage and shit, like media attention, and for those first round of interviews, you went missing. That was like another big thing, and like the interview. Like, were there any like real label talks happening? Were you thinking about like signing to a big label and like kind of going that route?
There was labels hitting me up. There was probably a lot more on Instagram than there were in my email, but the ones I did see in my email, I was like, oh shit, they're reaching out, you know? There was definitely some offers and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
the ones I missed in the DMs
Yeah.
for the couple years that I wasn't on those DMs and shit,
Yeah.
those were like some opportunities there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What made you like not want to just go in that direction, or was it not a choice, or I don't know?
Because I'm not trying to run into a situation where I'm kind of done with them, and it costs like $500,000 plus to get my masters back.
Yeah.
I don't want them owning too much of my shit, because I don't come from like craziness. I just come from like modest shit, you know,
Yeah.
and just having them have a piece of my shit, I don't fuck with it. And it's even worse with the 180s and 360s and shit.
Yeah.
Because they take a portion out of every damn fucking thing. My merch,
It's
my
hell.
touring,
Yeah.
my fucking whatever I plan to sell.
No, they get
That
you.
part,
They literally
that,
get
that
you.
part fucks me up.
Yeah.
Whatever I sell. So if I wanted to make a book, they're going to take a piece of that. I don't like that shit.
Yeah.
'Cause they didn't help me write it. I get some other PAs and VAs to write that shit for me.
Sure. Yeah.
And then we split the profits with them type shit.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that part is just...
Yeah. And I think also, I mean, it would have. I don't know how much this is true, but I've heard. I mean, it seems like artists that signed to big labels, they get boxed in even faster than. And you already were getting boxed in as a trap metal artist, somewhat. Like, I'm sure if you signed, like, there was a scenario where the label people are like, okay, keep making this shit. Like, you don't have a choice.
Now, I'd rather do that on my terms, because
Yeah.
I plan on doing that on my terms. Like,
Yeah.
eventually. I just had to get the jitters out. No, that shit, because now it doesn't feel natural. It doesn't
Yeah.
feel natural. And they probably harping on that shit to not feel natural
Yeah.
because that's what they saw at first.
Yeah. Who do you listen to amongst the new generation?
I try not to listen to new, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because I feel like coming off the back of that energy feels kind of like Pouncer-ish type shit.
Totally.
That's why I'm like chilling in my zone. Like I just hear some shit from them, and that kind of helps me with my other stuff. That kind of helps me with my like rebranding, and that kind of helps me with my focus.
Yeah.
You know, you ever heard of negative inspiration?
No. What do you mean by that?
Negative inspiration was like I'm inspired, but I just have like a whole bunch of negative energy attached to it
Yeah.
that I could be working towards something, but it could be damaging something else.
Sure.
Type shit. That's how I look at it.
Yeah. Like artists, like honestly, a lot of older artists who just kind of like are trying to play catch up all the time. That's a really good.
Yeah.
Like a lot of their music just sucks.
Yeah.
It's like because they're just trying to
They
ride waves.
they have to bide their wave. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? They have to just bide their wave. They probably got uncomfortable. They probably got uncomfortable with all the new stuff coming out. And I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm not uncomfortable by the new shit coming out. It's just that I'm shaking it off by not really trying to chase after them. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm chasing after these new things and these old things that they want me to be on.
Yeah.
You know? So that way I got work on my plate that's off the back of what the people want versus being inspired by some shit by what the new guy's doing. Cause if I go ahead and chase them, oh shit, Sava done goofed.
Cyber making
Sava done goofed.
rage beats now.
He done goofed. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
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 No, I know what you mean. Also, you wouldn't face that criticism because you literally like, you guys are the prototypes of the rage shit to me. So it's like, if you went that direction, I feel like people would be like, oh, he's just.
Yeah, they coming
this
off the
shit.
back of my rage. That
Literally.
was fucking
Yeah.
real as shit.
No, what
And it
you're-
was like
yeah.
no place to go
Yeah.
but to make this shit work.
I trace a lot of the rage, quote unquote rage stuff, which is honestly getting kind of played out now at this point. But like, I trace a lot of it to, I'm gonna say it, working on dying, what you guys are doing, anti-worlds, Metro Boomin, Loki, like Atlanta, like DS2 shit, and then like, shit, I don't even know. There's probably more tread music. Oh, I said working on dying.
Yeah, working
yeah.
on dying. See, Tread. Working
Yeah.
on dying Tread. Shit.
Yeah.
They handled that shit. They handled the fuck out that shit. I'm so glad I wasn't trying to chase out of their shit.
Yeah. No, but you carved your own land though, which is cool, and I think
True, yeah.
like anything, like I feel like the real shit, like there's that one Drake song with the skit at the end, like only the real shit's gonna last. Like that's
Yeah.
that's how I feel, but it's such a good like line. That's how I feel
Mhm.
about just art in general. Like
Yeah.
people will realize who the OGs are. Like someone's gonna tell that story. We're telling that story right now. Like other people are gonna be telling these stories. Like and kids are already realizing that you're like one of the guys, which is
Yeah.
cool to me. Like
I'm one of them.
exactly.
I'm one of them. Yes, sir.
Is there anything else you wanna say as far as just like to your original fans, to your new fans? Because like I said, you feel like you have successfully like started to tap into multiple generations now with your music, which is a crazy feat for any artist.
Yeah, for real.
So shout out to you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to like say to them?
To everybody that's watching and listening right now, I got something called a wild card. It's not really a wild card if you guys know. I would just say expect some old type shit, but it's not going to be in a way that you all expect it to. I would just say I'm that nigga. I'm that guy, if you can't say nigga. I'll say this. I'll definitely land on this. I was going to be the young old head. I was going to hate everything coming out. I was really about to hate everything coming the fuck out. But you know what stopped me? Realizing who I am and then just embarking on my shit. Whether it's still new shit, whether it's still old shit, all that type of stuff. I just really had, like, I was literally about to be that young old head nigga. Like, oh, damn, this nigga hating on us.
If you're listening right now, watching right now, don't be the young old head.
Don't be the young old head, because that was about to be me at like 23, 24. That's a young old head. Hell nah.
They haven't gone away, by the way. They're like
No,
you
they're,
go on
they're
Twitter
everywhere.
like, yeah.
But these young old heads, bro, y'all still got the rest of y'all 20s to figure that shit out, bro. Like, for real, they really have the rest of their 20s to figure this shit out.
Yeah,
Like,
save your hating for when you turn 30, in my opinion. And then
for
like,
real,
and then
35,
35,
even. You
yeah,
know what
yeah.
I'm saying? Shit.
Yeah, don't be a young old head. Sybyr,
Nah.
you are the least young old head I know. You seemed really open-minded, and I really appreciate you for that. And I think you continue to make really vital music. So just thank you again for being on this platform and shit. So
I appreciate you, sir.
Yeah,
Thank you, No Bells.
hell yeah, hell yeah.